So in the previous course, Constructive Solutions with ArchiCAD, we commented an amazing ability of ArchiCAD, which will allow you to export this into Excel. Let's give it a shot really quick so we can recapitulate a little bit about this function. You make sure you open up your schedule. In this present window, you simply hit File, Save As, and you can directly save this in Excel format. It's going to allow you to save this in PDF file. You can export this in doc, in a Excel workbook, and TXT. Okay, let's proceed with Excel workbook, the most basic one. Just going to save this by default. Save. Okay, and I'll take a minute to open this file. Now, since I don't have Excel installed in my computer, I'm going to do this through Google Sheets. It's pretty much the same, no worries, but you can notice it's going to export everything exactly the same. And the images over here, well, which has been reduced back to its original scale. It still looks a little bit small for me, but whatever. It's going to export this as a bitmap image, okay? So yeah, you can notice everything looks completely the same. Accessory 1, this is checked, checked, and the information right over here is checked. So one amazing thing with ArchiCAD, all the data you register for your BIM model, you can always export this into Excel. But there is even a much better function which will open up more opportunities regarding the workflow we have with ArchiCAD. For now, we said, yes, you can export this from ArchiCAD to Excel. I'm just going to mark this as a green bubble, okay, with an E over here. But as for now, this is going to only be a unidirectional workflow. But what if I told you that it's possible to create a bidirectional workflow? You export data from ArchiCAD to Excel. The person who receives the Excel file modifies the file and then returns the modified file into ArchiCAD, and ArchiCAD will automatically update the data right over here and will automatically register the data back into the objects. So that sounds completely amazing, and let's give it a shot. So in first place, let's see which data we can modify. Let's say that, okay, somebody else will make sure to register, let's say, the price for each object, okay? Because it has been outdated, it's been like 3 years, and now we have to update this price, okay? What we're going to do is, once again, open up the schedule. Make sure you're in your schedule. Let's go into File. And in interoperability, if I remember well, classifications and properties, you got these two amazing options: export property values from schedule and import property values into elements. This creates a bidirectional information exchange or bidirectional workflow. Okay, let's give it a shot. Let's first off export the values. Let's save this as, I'm going to keep the original name. Let's Control V over here, the name. And right over here, you select which schedule you want to export. Let's save this. So it's going to save the values in a specific format. Now I'm going to proceed to open up this file. All right, and when you open up the new Excel format, you will notice right away it's completely change. It won't have any type of format. It will be only information. Now, this is extremely important. Make sure you never modify anything regarding the format about this table. Not even, for example, the color, because there's some risk that the function, when importing back the information, there's some risk, and it's possible that it won't import everything back correctly. So yeah, let's see if we can modify these values. Let's maybe add a 20% increase, something like that. I'm just going to create new values over here. Let's add something like this. Let's set this to maybe 3,500 and maybe this one to 2,900, something like this, okay? So I'm going to modify the price, and let's see if we can modify maybe the ID, because the ID for some reason has changed. Now they don't use that reference number. Now it's a different reference number, 2025 plus this value. and this is 2025. I'm just going to invent some values over here, and 2025, something like this. So these fields have changed and the price has changed. Okay, so what we're going to do once the person responsible of changing the data in Excel has been finished registering the new data, what you're going to tell this person is to simply overwrite exactly the same file that has been opened. So for this case, I'm simply going to download this once again. Let's see if I can download this as Excel. There it is. Okay, so you got exactly the same name, it got exactly the same format. The only thing that has changed has been the values. Okay, so let's go into ArchiCAD. Make sure you once again open up this schedule over here. Let's go to File, Interoperability, Classifications and Properties, and let's use Import Property Values into Elements. Let's select the modified file that we got over here. Let's open this up. Okay, so ArchiCAD will automatically detect which values have been updated. You can always filter out which information you want to import, which information you want to ignore. Let's say you want to ignore this field or anything else. So for now, usually I just leave it as it is, and I simply go ahead and hit the import function. It's going to tell you, okay, the property values were successfully imported. Press OK, and there it is. You can clearly see this has been updated, and for some weird reason it didn't. Yeah, you know the reason why it didn't update these values correctly. It's a small detail, but it's there. I made a small mistake and I used a small hyphen over here. If you remember, this field will only accept integer values, so that's the reason why it didn't import everything correctly, just by small detail. But yeah, if I try to use this symbol, it's not going to allow you. It only accepts numbers. Okay, but sure, whatever, let's just leave it as it is. But the most important thing is that now you've noticed we got the possibility of a bidirectional interaction with Excel. This opens up the opportunity that you as a BIM manager manage all the information. Somebody else makes sure to update the information in Excel in its own workflow, and then gives back the information to you. So you simply update this into the BIM model. Okay, and of course, if we update this information here, it's also going to update everything inside. Well, it's been sunny day, if I remember. There it is. It's going to also update this for each object. Okay, so with this, now we could say we have covered the main topics about classifications and properties. There are more ways on how you can manage classifications and properties, but these are the main important points. As always, take as much time as you require. Practice these concepts as many times as you want. Remember that we still need to comment expressions. Okay, this is something we're going to comment for the next section. But for now, with this, we can put an end to this section, and let's continue with the last conclusions.